Hello everyone, how's it going? In this video, we're going to talk about Palantir, trading under the ticker symbol PLTR. The financial market has been going through very volatile swings recently, and one of the most talked about and sought after stocks is Palantir. In this video, we will go through what the company does and what it represents, the recent price action, the company's financials, and my recommendation regarding whether it should be bought, sold, or held. If you appreciate my content, please consider to drop a like, comment, and to subscribe to my channel. Also, please check out and use the links in the description section, as every help is greatly appreciated. With Palantir currently trading at around $15.7 and a trading volume of around 40 million shares, we're going to take a look at the implications of those figures and consider if investors should be buying more. So recently there's a 17% increase of Palantir over the past week, which reflects the market's overall positive sentiment. But we have to remember that the trading volume alongside the performance is going to give us a very important hint regarding if this tendency could continue, because ultimately it's just a question of supply and demand. So it's important to consider the trading volume, like I said, which recently is around 40 million shares, which is much lower than the average volume of 83 million shares over the past 30 days. Now, this increase in trading volume probably indicates a potential decline in the interest and participation, but more importantly, the steam that we definitely need in order to keep pushing the price upward. The trading volume is a very important metric, and we're going to take a look at it later as well, but it suggests that there is reduced market interest and participation, which may impact the stock's price stability and potential for the future growth. Now, obviously, Palantir has a bright future ahead of itself. It's probably going to have more projects in the years to come. But at the moment, I would say that if you were looking to buy Palantir, then maybe just consider to hit pause for a second and to consider the following technicals. So the trading volume of Palantir, like we said, is around 40 million shares versus the average volume of 83 million shares. In the previous 52 weeks period, the price fluctuated between $5.84 and $17.16. The volume tells us how many shares are being bought and sold at any point, and if there's enough liquidity to support a trading strategy. If the float is thin, it could be easy to influence the stock price, but low liquidity could mean that the demand is limited too. When we compare the current volume against the average, there might be the possibility for trend reversal or a breakthrough, which is not the case at the moment. In fact, I would say that quite the opposite. It's probably going to have a reversal, if anything. The market cap of Palantir is currently $33 billion versus an enterprise value of less than half at just around $15 billion. When we compare the price of the historical price fluctuations, it's 15% higher than the 1-month low, 116% higher than the 3-month low, and a whopping 170% higher than the 52 weeks low. On the options market, giving us a hint about where it's going to go next, the implied volatility is at 63% versus the historical volatility of 57%. The put-call volume ratio is currently 0.56, meaning most people believe, and again, this kind of confirms what the volume indicates, most people believe that the current tendency with Palantir is not going to last. It's normal for most stocks to have some put option volume than what they deserve, because many people want to protect their long positions with hedging instruments. So the most recent volume of options traded is around 200,000 contracts in a day, compared to the 30-day average of 400,000. Regarding the open interest, The current open interest is around 2.5 million contracts versus the 30-day average of 2.7 million contracts. Regarding the shareholder structure, institutional shareholders own 33% of the volume, which is probably, like, in my humble opinion, enough in order to justify people to invest into it and not just to trade into it. The biggest shareholders include Vanguard, Renaissance, and State Street. The biggest short interest is around 7%, or actually 8%, 60% of which from the dark pools. So there's not really a case for short selling, or no, actually, there's not really a case for short squeeze or naked selling. If we look at the long-term price action of Palantir, we must ask ourselves whether this company has a place in the economy of tomorrow or the day after tomorrow. Palantir Technologies is a software company specializing in providing big data analytics and management solutions to various industries. The company's flagship product, Palantir Gotham, is a powerful platform helping organizations to make sense about the data and provide advanced data integration, analysis, and visualization models. One of the key features of Palantir Gotham is its ability to integrate data from a wide variety of sources. It can work with structured and unstructured data like text, images, and videos, handling data in multiple formats and languages. It makes an ideal solution for organizations having data spread across multiple systems and departments. Palantir Gotham also provides advanced data analysis capabilities, including natural language processing, machine learning, and predictive analytics. These features allow the organizations to uncover hidden insights and patterns in their data, which can be used to make better decisions and improve business performances. For example, a bank can use Palantir Gotham to analyze customer data and identify patterns indicating a high risk of fraud or a potential loss of customers. Palantir Gotham also provides secure role-based access to data. The platform uses a combination of technical controls and policy-based access controls to make sure that only the authorized users can access the sensitive data. This is very important for organizations like the financial institutions, which are subject to strict regulatory requirement for security and privacy. Palantir's solution is widely used by government and intelligence agencies and financial institutions, consulting firms, and other kinds of companies around the world. The platforms can help these organizations to make sense of complicated situations and to identify possible solutions. In conclusion, Palantir Technologies is a leading provider of big data analytics and management solutions. Its flagship product, Palantir Gotham, is a powerful platform helping organizations to make sense about what their data are trying to tell them and to make better decisions. Their solutions can be highly customizable and can be tailored to the specific needs of different organizations, making it a valuable company for the global economy. As we look at Palantir's financials, the first thing that is noticeable is the positive gross margin. Above all else, this is a decent reminder that the company's core business seems to work. It is true that the revenue has been growing slowly over the past quarters, which sparkles worries from investors. But the fact that the gross margin is even positive to begin with suggests that this business model is valid and can be scaled up, which can solve the problem once they reach a certain critical mass of clients. We should remember that Palantir's revenue managed to grow despite the very difficult environment it operates in. The cash flow reports suggest that despite having a net loss, Palantir can self-finance significant portions of its operations with positive cash flow at the end of each quarter ever since Q1 of 2021. This would mean that the pressure of Palantir to go through rounds of share dilutions would be relatively low. Another significant aspect to consider is the liabilities. This is relatively under control and has fluctuated slightly over time. In terms of shareholders, there is around 34% of institutional ownership amongst Palantir's shareholders. This means that Palantir does have a significant endorsement from money managers, but they are largely outnumbered by retails, and there will be a significant number of people going in and out of the stock based on the market movements and based on the last-minute news announcements. This would mean that Palantir is good for investment, but we must also be beware of people who are still hoping to profit off the swings and don't blink when small volatilities occur. One key behavioral difference between institutional and retail shareholders is their investment horizon. Institutional shareholders tend to take long-term view with a focus on a company's fundamentals and growth prospects. They're also less likely to engage in short-term trading and are less affected by the market volatility. In contrast, retail shareholders tend to focus more on the short-term gains and are more likely to make decisions based on the market sentiment and news. This can lead to more active buying and selling and can result in higher volatility in the stock price. Another behavioral difference is that institutional shareholders might be more active and involved into the governance. On the other hand, the retails tend not to bother too much. After all, as far as the retail traders are concerned, they've bought a piece of paper or actually a few letters on a statement of investment account, and they want to see this number grow. Currently, there are 4.2 million shares shorted against Palantir. Some believe that this might be a possibility for a short squeeze because the 4.2 million shares would need to be redeemed at some point, and right now it takes several days to recover. With that being said, I believe that Palantir currently has a certain number of short positions against it because of genuine belief that Palantir will have some serious headwind against it, and it's not necessarily concerted. It's important to note that the short interest is not a guarantee of a short squeeze, but is also a very important metric to monitor nevertheless. It's worth considering that the short sellers may have valid reasons for their bearish sentiment, and a short squeeze may not happen regardless of how many stars are being aligned. Given the lower trading volume and its potential implications, I think that people should approach their decision to buy Palantir shares now with more caution. It's prudent to closely monitor the stock's movements and then evaluate the trends before we make such decisions. I think that Palantir is going to have a brighter future ahead of itself, and because of this, we have enough time in order to benefit from retracements, and then we can probably sell it a couple of times before owning it again. So this is why we have to be patient with a position like this. But for the time being, I would say to stand on the side, don't sell, don't liquidate. If it's well within your allocated amount, if it's well beyond, let's say 5% of your portfolio's capital, then I would recommend to actually liquidate some of your position in order to reduce the risk to your portfolio.